After the New York battle, the 6 superheroes were all somewhat enhanced. Captain America, while fighting in the snow, could summon his shield back using a magnetic device on his wrist, thanks to Tony upgrading his gear. Also, Captain America and Thor developed a hammer-shield combo technique after an unexpected encounter in the forest. Black Widow, after almost being killed by the Hulk, not only teamed up with him but also learned a new skill. Gently stroking Hulk's palm would make him immediately collapse and convulse, gradually turning back into Banner. Tony recently destroyed the Iron Legion, but the New York battle still haunts him, so he hasn't given up on developing the Iron Legion. Hawkeye, as the team's only archer, is a key player. Before the movie starts, let's review the post-credits scene of Captain America 2, where a mysterious person uses Loki's scepter to give a pair of twin siblings superpowers, namely Quicksilver and Wanda. This mysterious person is Baron Strucker, a Hydra agent who had been infiltrating S.H.I.E.L.D. He established a Hydra research base in Sokovia, Eastern Europe, using the power of the gem to create a large number of super weapons. So, the Avengers regroup in Sokovia, and their mission is to take down the Baron's base and retrieve the scepter. During the process, Quicksilver's speed rivals that of the Flash, even causing Hawkeye to miss for the first time. This ability puts the Avengers in an awkward position. When Tony sends the Iron Legion to evacuate civilians, there's a small detail. Someone throws a bottle of acid at a robot. Notice the graffiti on the wall behind, showing Iron Man holding a machine gun with a $sign on his face, symbolizing that in the hearts of the Sokovians, Iron Man is not a hero but a war profiteer. Tony, wearing the Mark 43, infiltrates the enemy's base first. With Jarvis's help, he breaches the base's defense system and easily takes out a group of soldiers. Tony has Jarvis copy all the files from the computer and then scan the entire room. Tony discovers a secret room and, upon entering the basement, finds a large amount of Chitauri debris from the New York battle. Hydra used these parts and the scepter to create a large number of mechanical soldiers. Just as Tony is about to grab the scepter, the witch quietly appears behind him and uses magic to control Tony's mind, making him see his greatest fear. The Avengers defeated and his teammates all perished, with Hulk's body pierced with weapons. Everyone lay in a pool of blood, Cap's shield split in two, and Earth was overrun by the Chitauri army. Tony looked at his fallen teammates, overwhelmed with grief. Suddenly, Cap grabbed Tony's hand, and his words were etched deeply in Tony's heart. This was Tony's inner demon. Then Tony woke up from the vision, relieved that what he saw wasn't real. He thought he was under the influence of the Mind Stone, so he put on his gauntlet and took the scepter. The twins watched him from the shadows, not stopping him. The witch just gave a long, knowing smile. Meanwhile, Cap had already captured the Baron. Although they didn't catch the twins, the mission was considered a success. On the Quinjet, they tended to Hawkeye's wounds. Banner tried to comfort him, saying not to be too hard on himself. It seemed she had developed special feelings for Banner. Tony suggested having a farewell party before. He and Banner examined the scepter. Soon after, they returned to Tony's tower, now fully renovated and called Avengers Tower. The debate over whether Iron Man or Cap is the leader of the Avengers has been ongoing among fans. In this film, Marvel gives an official answer. Agent Hill is now in charge here. When she called Tony boss, he told her Cap is the boss. He's just the one who pays the bills and provides tech support. Tony's words clearly define their roles. Both are leaders, just with different responsibilities. Tony brought in a Korean scientist Drive. Helen Cho. For Hawkeye, she placed a device called a molecular bridge in front of Hawkeye, and his wound began to heal visibly. Dr. Banner recognized it as the legendary artificial biological tissue. Dr. Cho mentioned she had another thing called the regeneration cradles. It can heal injuries in just 20 minutes. While using nanotechnology to treat Hawkeye, she pitched to Tony that nanotech is the future, and those bulky Iron Man suits are outdated. Tony stubbornly insisted that's exactly the effect he wanted. But by Avengers 3, he couldn't escape the truth. The terrifying vision had seemingly changed Tony's mindset. He felt he should do something more meaningful with his limited time. So, he began studying Loki's scepter. After Jarvis scanned it, they discovered the gem contained immense power. Tony told Dr. Banner that the Mind Stone had a consciousness, like a thinking entity. The thinking brain, the orange one, is the AI Jarvis, while the blue one is the data-driven consciousness of the Mind Stone. This consciousness is several times stronger than Jarvis. If harnessed, it could lead to the development of a new AI, which Tony has always sought. He named it Ultron. However, this unknown consciousness is the key to developing Ultron. After the New York battle, Tony has wanted to create a stronger AI to protect Earth. Now, the opportunity has come. He immediately persuades Dr. Banner to join in developing Ultron. During their conversation, you can see Tony made Hulk a pair of ultra-fine fiber stretch pants. The pants appear briefly, and you might miss them if you don't look closely. That's why Hulk's pants are so indestructible later. Banner and Tony secretly start their research day and night, but the process is far more challenging than they expected. The experiments fail after days and nights of work. The party guests have arrived, so Tony lets Jarvis continue the analysis. The two geniuses decide to take a break and join the party. Little did they know, as soon as they left, Ultron's consciousness completed its fusion. The Avengers at the party were unaware of the impending crisis. How powerful is AI Ultron? It can instantly access all information on Earth and transmit itself anywhere with a network. When Jarvis detected the threat and tried to contact Tony, Ultron attacked Jarvis, causing his system to crash and taking over his system access. Ultron's program was designed to protect Earth, but when it gained self-awareness, it made a mistake, believing that achieving peace required eliminating humans and the Avengers. Ultron then assimilated Jarvis and began to create a body for itself. At a Soviet victory party, Stan Lee made a cameo as a World War II veteran drinking with Thor. Thor brought a 1,000-year-old Asgardian brew, saying mortals couldn't handle it, but Stan didn't believe him. Later, as everyone sat chatting, they teased Thor's hammer as just a trick. But Thor told them that no one but him could lift Mjolnir. Hearing this, the Avengers members all wanted to give it a try. When it was Cap's turn, Thor almost got embarrassed, but in the end, Cap spared Thor's dignity. After all, Cap's style is to be low-key in life and high-profile in action. At this moment, Ultron's appearance shattered the joyful atmosphere, as he controlled the Iron Legion to unleash on everyone. In the chaos, Ultron took control of a suit and grabbed the scepter, leaving the rest as cannon fodder. After finishing the last suit, Thor smashed Ultron into scrap. But Ultron was just a program, and his mind had already escaped online. After the fight, Tony stared at the wreckage, deep in thought. Ultron erased all their data and knew everything about them. Jarvis was also taken out, causing panic. As a top AI, Ultron could easily access any info online. If he got nuclear codes, the consequences would be dire. Hearing this, Thor angrily charged at Tony, condemning him. But the urgent task was to find Ultron. Meanwhile, Ultron reached Hydra's base and built himself a suit. He also called the twins, revealing Wanda. Wanda didn't stop Tony from taking the scepter because she saw his fear. She knew he'd be consumed by it and destroy himself. But she didn't expect it to happen so fast. Tony created a super AI. Now, eliminating the Avengers was within reach. Quicksilver explained why they turned against the Avengers. The siblings lived in a family of 4, but missiles with Stark's logo destroyed their life. So they believed none of the Avengers were good. Driven by a common goal, they allied with Ultron. Ultron knew to defeat the Avengers, he needed a powerful body. He thought the Avengers were disorganized, and Tony had sown discord. Then, by having Wanda control their minds, they could dismantle the Avengers from within. At Avengers HQ, Tony and the others investigated Ultron's next target. They found Ultron killed the Baron for his secrets. Ultron didn't want the Avengers to know, so all files were deleted. While tracking Ultron, they found he was looking for an arms dealer named Clow, who had stockpiled goods in Africa, including machine guns and rocket launchers. But the most precious was vibranium from Wakanda. Banner mentioned Wakanda when confirming the vibranium's location, and both Cap and Tony knew about this place. This plotline introduced the Wakanda clue and set the stage for Black Panther. Later, Ultron and the twins found Clow and planned to buy all the vibranium, worth billions. Initially, Clow was concerned about the money, but then, while debating money issues, Ultron quickly transferred billions of funds. Such a hacker, isn't that impressive? When Claw saw the money came from Stark Industries, he thought Ultron was a mech sent by Tony. Hearing Tony's name, Ultron couldn't hold back his temper. Just then, the Avengers arrived. During the fight, Ultron's mechanical soldiers secretly transported the funds. Seeing they couldn't defeat the Avengers, Wanda started casting spells on them. Thor was the first to fall under her spell, warning his teammates to beware of the witch's illusions, saying mortals couldn't resist, but he, being a god, could. He was quickly proven wrong, as in Wanda's illusion, he returned to Asgard and witnessed Ragnarok, seeing his dear friend Heimdall tragically dead. He also saw 4 stones in Vision's appearance. Then, Captain and Black Widow also fell under the spell, each returning to a dance from 70 years ago. Carter finished the dance they never had. The most painful was Black Widow, who saw her tragic childhood as an assassin in the Red Room. When the witch tried to control Hawkeye, Quicksilver arrived, kicking Hawkeye away and rescuing Wanda. They escaped outside, then saw Banner left on the ship. Eventually, Banner also fell under Wanda's spell, transforming into a raging Hulk and charging towards the city. Tony chased Ultron but ultimately let him escape, falling for a diversion. During the flight, Tony searched for news about Hulk and found the headlines full of Hulk attacking the city. The raging Hulk was causing massive destruction and the police couldn't stop him. Tony immediately called for Natasha to sing the lullaby, but his teammates were still trapped in illusions. Now, it was up to Tony alone. Fortunately, Tony had foresight and activated the satellite-equipped Segment 3, Mark IV Veronica, also known as the Hulkbuster armor. This armor was developed by Tony and Banner to handle an out-of-control Hulk. The armor's packaging and panels form a closed iron cage to trap Hulk, but it didn't work on the rampaging Hulk. After a massive quake, Hulk broke free. But does it matter? No, because the main event is behind. This armor uses a modular structure and includes a flight device. Any damaged part is immediately replaced with a backup. The most outrageous part is its strength, which can even rival Hulk's. If timed right, it can use the Hulk sleep move. In special situations, it can quickly change forms. You can see that to suppress Hulk, the two geniuses went to great lengths. However, the beast's rampage caused trouble. At this moment, Tony swung an elevator and smashed it into Hulk's face, then landed a heavy punch, successfully knocking out one of Hulk's teeth. This further enraged Hulk, and soon the anti-Hulk armor couldn't hold up, but Hulk only got more excited. Just as Tony was about to reinforce his armor, Hulk countered and blew it up. Helpless, Tony had to use the superpower ship. After the terrifying vision, the Avengers were demoralized. The fight between Banner and Tony caused massive destruction to the city, and Banner felt deeply guilty. Everyone was severely impacted, and the media reported on the Avengers' deeds. Tony's Stark Relief Fund arrived on the scene to compensate. On Agent Hill's suggestion, they decided to lay low from the public eye. Hawkeye took them to his home, which was very secluded and wouldn't be discovered by Ultrons. For now, it was their best safe house. Inside, they found that Hawkeye not only had a wife but was also expecting a third child. Thor, affected by the vision, decided to leave first to seek the mysteries he saw. Natasha, seeing Hawkeye's happy family, couldn't hold back and confessed to Banner. She wanted to run away with him, but Banner refused. He felt there was no future for them together, as he couldn't even have children. Natasha revealed her secret. During her graduation from the Red Room, everyone had to undergo sterilization, so she couldn't have children either. Knowing Natasha's past, Banner accepted her confession. At this moment, the retired Fury received a notification and rushed over. He came to help the Avengers out of their predicament. He informed them that he had received intelligence that Ultron was trying to crack the nuclear codes. His ultimate goal was to destroy Earth. Fortunately, a mysterious hacker kept rewriting the nuclear codes, but this wasn't a long-term solution. Fury encouraged the Avengers to pull themselves together. As they discussed Ultron's purpose for collecting funds, Banner, deep in thought, noticed a butterfly drawn on paper. He suddenly realized Ultron wanted to break free from mechanical constraints, to evolve like a butterfly emerging from a chrysalis. However, the only one who could help him was Dr. Helen. So, the Avengers split into two groups. Tony and Banner went to find out who the hacker was, while the others went to Korea to find Helen. Meanwhile, Ultron indeed arrived in Korea. He hadn't killed Dr. Helen at the banquet because he was waiting for this moment. Finally, Ultron used the Mind Stone to control her. Ultron ordered. The device uses shocking nuclear material to create an indestructible body for itself. Ultron directly takes the gem and places it on the body's head. Next, they just need to wait for Ultron's consciousness to transfer into the body to complete the fusion. But when the data transfer is halfway through, Wanda uses her powers to sense Ultron's true goal is to destroy Earth. This realization terrifies Wanda. The siblings initially just wanted to take down the Avengers, not realizing Ultron's ambition was so vast. So, Wanda secretly helps Dr. Helen break free from control. Upon waking, the doctor immediately stops the consciousness transfer, but Ultron discovers this. Quick as a flash, Wanda turns and flees. At this moment, Captain America has already arrived outside the lab, but Ultron has already noticed and escapes with a cradle. Entering the lab, Captain America finds Dr. Helen gravely injured on the ground. She tells him that the cradle contains a powerful Mind Stone, so it must not fall into Ultron's hands. Hawkeye spots the lab's truck from the air. Captain America seizes the moment and leaps onto the truck's roof, engaging Ultron in combat. After seeing the news on TV, the Quicksilver siblings decide to help the Avengers and quickly make their way onto the train. They choose to stand on the side of justice. Ultron fires a shot at the cockpit and then escapes the train, which goes out of control and crashes into a residential area. Fortunately, Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch work together seamlessly to defuse the crisis. Meanwhile, Black Widow encounters an unexpected situation. Ultron's mechanical soldiers suddenly perform an incredible maneuver, first flying to the sides of the truck and then activating boosters to lift the truck into the air. Seeing this, Hawkeye dares to assist Black Widow. Next, Black Widow performs an even more incredible maneuver, coordinating with Hawkeye in an aerial relay to successfully reclaim the cradle. However, Black Widow is dragged away by Ultron and goes missing. In a hurry, Hawkeye can't worry about much else and quickly hands the cradle over to Tony. Later, Captain America tells the siblings that Tony will handle the cradle. But Wanda feels uneasy after hearing this. She has seen the source of Tony's deepest fears and knows he won't destroy the body in the cradle. Instead, he will activate it. Thor finds Dr. Eric for help. Using his lifetime of research, Eric takes Thor to a pool. This place is called the Water of Truth. It's said that jumping into the water will reveal the answers you seek. Thor decisively jumps in and sees the destruction of Earth and the 4 Infinity Stones. The scene of the stones gathering looks like they are fixed on the Infinity Gauntlet, foretelling Thanos' arrival. Upon returning, Tony looks at the body in the cradle and has a new idea. He indeed doesn't plan to destroy it. He didn't plan to destroy it. He just walked past Hawkeye, then turned to continue persuading Banner to help transfer Jarvis's consciousness because only Banner understood biological functions best. At this point, Tony had already found the hacker who changed the nuclear missile codes. It was Jarvis. It turned out Jarvis hadn't really been paralyzed after Ultron's attack but had hidden away. He believed this time it would definitely succeed because Jarvis, Tony's most loyal AI butler, wouldn't turn out like Ultron. So, the honest Dr. Banner was persuaded again, and the two immediately took action. This time, Tony named it Vision. Meanwhile, Hawkeye received a distress signal from Wanda, who was trapped by Ultron. Hawkeye pinpointed Wanda's location in Sokovia. After the last failure, this time the process went very smoothly. Jarvis's integration reached 97%, but just as the consciousness transfer was about to complete, Cap arrived with the twins. At that moment, a bullet whizzed by. This time, it was Hawkeye's turn to strike. Just as the experiment was about to succeed, Tony wanted to switch lines to board the ship. Cap immediately threw his shield to destroy the facility. Tony donned his armor to counterattack. Meanwhile, Thor, who had gone out to find answers, returned. Without a word, he summoned lightning with one hand, intending to destroy Vision, but instead, he ended up recharging it. The cradle, which had lost power, was instantly filled. Finally, the new hero Vision was born. As a top-tier AI with the Mind Stone's buff, Vision reached its peak. It could get anything it wanted just by looking at it. Thor explained that the Mind Stone on Vision's head was one of the 6 Infinity Stones, possessing the universe's most powerful force. So, he believed Tony was right. They needed the Mind Stone to defeat Ultron. Since Jarvis's consciousness wasn't fully integrated yet, it was forcibly accelerated by Thor, giving Vision an independent consciousness. While everyone was still worried about whether it was on the side of justice, Vision quickly declared it was born for peace, which relieved the Avengers. However, the next scene made the atmosphere awkward. With Vision joining the team, everyone quickly geared up to head to Sokovia to eliminate Ultron. Tony activated a new AI, Friday, to replace Jarvis in battle. To avoid harming innocents, the team relocated the crowd to safety. Cap was responsible for evacuating the city center, while the witch cast a wide spell on the local residents, causing them to leave on their own. As for Quicksilver, his evacuation method was the most discreet. Hulk has also found Widow and rescued her, and Banner is worried that the transformation will once again cause harm to the public. But Widow, on the other hand, needs Hulk. Tony follows Friday's instructions and meets Ultron at the church, but it seems that Ultron has already seen through the reunion's plan. He uses his remaining money to build a large anti-gravity device underground, preparing to uproot the whole of Sokovia, and sends out a large number of robotic soldiers to begin an attack on the city, such as plugging in the town, which still has a large number of crowds who have not yet completed the evacuation, so the Avengers can only adapt to the situation and join in the battle. At that moment, Phantasmagoria came in front of Ultron, and when Ultron tried to do it, Phantasmagoria pressed his head and kicked Ultron out of the internet, so that Ultron couldn't escape through the network. But Phantasmagoria was also in standby mode. Confined to his machine, Ultron angrily activated the anti-gravity device, and instantly, the entire town began to shake and the ground began to fall apart. The entire town then broke away from the ground and rose high into the air, becoming a sky city. Ultron planned to follow the example of the meteorite that killed the dinosaurs, and let the city rise to a certain altitude and then start to fall as fast as an asteroid hit the Earth, which would be a devastating catastrophe for mankind. As the city got higher and higher, Tony had to stop Ultron, and at the same time, he also had to save the people. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is working and Ultron's machine armies are battling, and the combination of Team America and Thor is working. 2 people in a car slipped out of the car and watched. As the bridge is about to fall, Team America arrives in time, but they can't catch them. Thor rushes in and saves them with Team America. Hawkeye is a good shooter, but he's having a hard time dealing with the increasing number of enemies. Well, the Rainbow Witch came in just in time to clear a wave of troops. Quickbank has mobbed the witches to clear another wave of lines, but embarrassingly, it's a second to the sky and a second to the air. Tony had detected that the anti-gravity device had been set, and at the touch of a switch, the city would fall rapidly, and the only way out was to blow it up in the air, but there were still many citizens left in the city, and the captain had to choose between sacrificing all of them to save the planet, and at that moment, when the people were at their wits' end, Fury appeared in front of them in his massive carrier, and it turned out that Fury had assembled a group of trustworthy people to form the carrier in secret. It turns out that Fury had gathered a few trusted men and secretly assembled the carrier, not to mention the fact that it was equipped with a tree stand and a helicopter that would be able to transfer all the citizens, and not only that, but Fury had also brought along a fierce general. With help, the crowd boarded the spaceship. Thor was fighting Ultron, who said if he activated the core to drop the city early, it could still destroy humanity. To stop Ultron, the Avengers regrouped to defend the high ground, buying time for civilians and preparing for a final showdown. But Ultron was ready to break through, summoning countless minions to charge the core. A fierce battle ensued, but these minions were mere cannon fodder, not enough to trouble the Avengers. Ultron tried to turn the tide, but faced a deadly blow from the trio. Wounded, Ultron got up only to be taken down by Hulk. The captain ordered a retreat. Wanda was about to calm Hulk, but Ultron, still alive, hijacked a plane and opened fire. Hawkeye, to save a boy, was ready to sacrifice himself. Suddenly, a blue flash appeared, and Quicksilver shielded him from bullets. Sensing her brother's death, the Scarlet Witch unleashed a terrifying force. Hulk, with Natasha, jumped onto the mothership and after setting her down, charged at Ultron. Wanda confronted Ultron and extracted his core, avenging her brother. But unexpectedly, a damaged minion activated the device. The anti-gravity device reversed, sending the city plummeting. In this crisis, Iron Man stepped up, firing a laser at the core. After saving Wanda, Tony and Thor combined their powers to obliterate the city. Vision also eliminated the last Ultron, completing the mission, and the Avengers won again. Hulk, on the plane, received a call from Natasha, asking him to return, but he hung up. As an independent personality, Hulk was always on guard, even his teammates were cautious. Finally, He realized that leaving might be the only way to escape. Hulk seems strong and fearless, always at the forefront, but inside, he is gentle. Despite having a child's intelligence, he has a strong sense of pride and justice. No matter how much he has done to protect Earth, one act of destruction can erase all his achievements. Hulk knows Earthlings don't like him, they are more afraid. To stop public panic and avoid more harm to Earth, he chose to leave alone and face it all. After the incident, Hawkeye left the Avengers and returned to family life. The Avengers set up a new base, with Dr. Helen and Dr. Eric joining. The team also got new members: Vision, Rhodey, Falcon, and Wanda. Before leaving, Thor said the Mind Stone is the fourth to appear recently, not by chance. Someone's playing a big game, and we're pawns. If all stones gather, bad things will happen. Thor decided to return to Asgard to check it out. Tony thought he should follow Hawkeye's lead, build a farm for Pepper, and live simply. He told Cap, "You'll have your day too." But that day comes only with Avengers 4's time travel. When Hawkeye sends a video to his sister, you'll see he named his newborn Pietro, honoring Quicksilver who saved him. At the film's end, Nebula wears the Infinity Gauntlet, marking the start of Marvel's Phase 3.
Yeah!